life is such a mess. Hello, fellow plant people. Welcome back if you are returning to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jen. I go by The Leafy Geek here, also on Instagram. Come check me out there. I've been trying to film a video for the better part of this weekend, and it's a long weekend, so I thought I'd have plenty of time and it would go well, and things are just kind of wabi-sabi this weekend. So what I was originally going to show you is my process for moving plants indoors for the winter. We're at that point in Minnesota where that needs to start happening. I'm losing a lot of footage, my app isn't working, just a number of obstacles to me getting that video out this weekend. I do have footage, so that's good, so I'll be able to share that one eventually, but I think I just want to share a quick little tour of some of my plants. I think what I want to do is feature some plants that I don't normally feature on this channel. I know I'm pretty giant Hoya head. I also love these epiphytes behind me, so that's kind of where my channel has focused, at least over the past couple of weeks. But I have other plants too. I know a lot of people have, plants that are common. Some are a little harder to find, some are easy to take care of, some are less so. But I think all plants should be appreciated. I think, there's a lot of unsung heroes in our plant collections, and I'm hoping to feature a few of mine today. I really want to focus on a couple of plants that have just been really strong growers this grow season. We have kind of a short one here in the Tundralands, but some plants really take advantage of that and push out a lot of new growth. And I think I'm noticing a few right now that I do want to share with you and just, honor their accomplishments over the summer. So that's really what I want to do. I'm sitting in my plant room. It's 50 degrees outside. Let's look at some good growers. Oh, I should probably mention, I'm gonna kind of steer clear of Hoya. I know I have a lot of Hoya and a lot of them have been doing extremely well this summer, but I want to kind of change it up a little bit and show you some of my other plants that I have in my home that are doing awesome. So let's go. Let's quick check out the shelf in my guest bedroom, or what is now known as the plant room. Quite a few little happy aeroids on the shelf. I opted to put aeroids up here. I think all of these would benefit from a little bit more light. Right now it's kind of an interior wall in my house. They get a little bit of, I'd say northwest light. It brightens up pretty good in here in the afternoon, but I do have the supplemental grow lights. I'm kind of framing them. But let's take a look here at my Philodendron Brazil. This is kind of a powerhouse grower for me. It's nice and long. Could easily take cuttings of this. I think I do have a couple of cuttings going, actually. And yeah, it's a solid grower. It continues to put out new growth even in this lower light situation that I have it in. Then over here is my Monstera siltepecana. This one also I'm considering maybe moving to a lower shelf where it can get a little bit more natural light, but it's still putting out a ton of new growth. It really hasn't stopped since I got it. It's climbing up this hoop. And then, of course, another aeroid. This is a jade pothos. Oh, and look at it's tendriling. So getting a little bit leggy, but still growing. So again, might need to fix the lighting situation up here, but these guys are doing really well for what they are in, I should say. Because they're in a lower light situation, I don't water them as frequently as some of my other plants. I would say once every 2 weeks is probably what I manage for these. And haven't really had any issues with them. They're just hanging out up here, doing the things, growing away. I also have a Birkin over here. It's not as exciting, but actually, this one has growth on it too. For being in an interior shelf in my house, it's quite a bit, and it's actually some pretty nice striping on it, some good variegation. Cool. Haven't checked on that one in a while. Should probably check on these more frequently, but that's kind of the nature of these types of plants, is that you don't really have to. You can just kind of let them alone to do their thing, and they'll do their thing. You might notice these kind of scattered throughout my home. It's kind of a concoction that catches fungus gnats, so that's what that's all about. I think it's just, what did I put in there? It's a little bit of sugar, water, some sort of vinegar. I think I used apple cider vinegar, and dish soap. But yeah, little low light central over here. So we are now in my bedroom, and this is kind of a predominantly Hoya. I just like to surround myself with Hoya, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about the non-Hoya plants that I have that are doing quite awesome this grow season. So this is one of those. This is one of my string of hearts, Ceropegia woodii, and got this one. This is my smaller plant. I have a larger one in my living room that's also doing quite well, but this one, in terms of the amount of length that it's put on, is pretty phenomenal. I've only had this for maybe a couple of months, and it's already, you know, from like, that's a pretty safe estimate, like right here, it's put on all of that. So it almost covers, you know, the height of 2 of these shelves here. So that's impressive to me. Trying to kind of get the top a little bit more fleshed out by coiling up a few of the strands and kind of pinning them down and seeing if they'll root. So that is my string of hearts. And then over here, I did want to also show you, this is kind of my diva corner. So I have 2 of my, oh god, what is this one called again now? Used to be Calathea. Calathea will always be Calathea or Calathea in my brain, but I will put the new name down on the screen. Was Lancifolia, or the rattlesnake Calathea, whatever. So this one has fleshed out considerably this grow season. It's put on a lot of new growth. There's some crisping. Nobody's perfect. But I'm finally kind of getting the hang of their watering needs. And it's always been a little bit humid in this room, so I think they really appreciate that. But this guy, definitely one that I wanted to show you, because this has been my learning curve. Calathea. This is the Orbifolia. And I don't know if you guys remember when I got it, it probably had like 3 leaves on it. These 3 lower leaves looked really sad. I tried to put out a new leaf that kind of immediately browned up, and it's just terrible, terrible looking plant. But it has put on these 3 leaves since I've gotten it, and because, you know, my expectations for myself in learning the care of this plant were quite low to begin with. And I know these leaves look a little funky. They're still pretty small, kind of crinkly on the edges, not super perfect. But I'm pretty proud of this in terms of me learning, because I've heard this plant is not super easy. But I have 3 new leaves on it, and it seems to be maintaining. I'm really kind of getting the hang of watering for this one, what it likes. Speaking of, probably could use a little bit of water. But as far as these 2 go, I didn't like them so much for a while because I really didn't understand them. And I definitely feel like I'm learning. I'm at least on the path to learning, you know, how to really give them exceptional care. I'm not there yet by any stretch of the imagination, but I really do enjoy them now because I can see what the potential is. And it's really pretty. It's really beautiful. So don't give up on your tricky plants. If you have a few that are giving you trouble, you know, just check out what other people are saying about growing them. You know, use your plant community to find some answers and see what works and what doesn't, and hang in there, because sometimes cool things can happen. Okay, you guys, I'm in my living room now, and this plant is kind of tricky to film because it's usually horrendously backlit by this north-facing window right here that it is kind of hanging in. But this is my Sibu Blue, and it is maybe one of my favorite non-Hoya plants right now. It is going bonkers, and it's been in a few different places in my home. It's moved around since I've owned it, but it's even moved around a couple of times this summer, just to, you know, make room for other plants that needed some brighter light where it was sitting. And, you know, it's kind of gradually made its way over here. This is my office area, my home office. And this window, it's a north-facing window, but it's shaded too. It has an overhang on it. That's my patio right there. But it's a champ. It's continued to put out new growth. Now it's kind of vining and tendriling. All I did to assist this was I put a couple of vines just up on that chain, on this hanging basket. Just kind of draped them over the chain, and it found its way up and around and over. So that's pretty neat. And again, this is one that I don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention to care-wise, you know, just every week or two, because it's in a lower light situation. Probably check the soil every week, water it every week and a half to 2 weeks. And you know what? I don't think I've fertilized this at all. You know, I don't honestly think I have fertilized any of my aroids, which I probably should do before the grow season's done. But Sibu Blue, it's just doing the thing. I really, really love it. I really love this plant. I'm hoping that it kind of drapes all the way over on this curtain rod here. That would be pretty cool. So now we're over on my Peperomia table over in my living room. This benefits from a grow light. It's also in the north-facing window. And everybody on this table is doing pretty darn well for it being their off-season. Peperomia's growth season is wintertime in this hemisphere. And so yeah, everybody's looking pretty decent. I wanted to show you this one though. This is the one I wanted to highlight, is my Peperomia Hope. Because out of all of these guys on this table, this one is producing some active vines here and is really just continued. And again, this is a lower care Peperomia because it's so succulent. You don't have to water this. I think it's either not as picky about its watering schedule, or you can get away with watering it less frequently. It's less of a like a fine balance between too much water and not enough for some of these other kind of softer leafed ones. But again, new growth, this is really what I was hoping it would do at some point. It spent all grow season last winter putting this length on these tendrils, which honestly, I could probably take cuttings of this, especially some of this really kind of lanky stuff. I mean, the internodes aren't too far apart, but I do think it's getting enough light. but you know, I kind of wanted it to fill out up here, which it seems to be doing now. So that's great. But yeah, this is a really easygoing plant. Again, it's one of those things, I have it in a, this is a clay pot, and it just kind of hangs out under the grow light and really loves its life. So that is Peperomia Hope. And yeah, most of these are doing quite well. I don't really see, this is probably, I think this is my newest one. This is Peperomia velutina. This is the bicolor version of Peperomia velutina. And this one has grown pretty well since I've gotten it. I kind of attribute that to Steve's leaves, just their quality of plants. So it's really, really pretty. And then this little guy. I recently repotted him. I was terrified to do so. This is the Peperomia prostrata, or the turtle shell, string of turtles. Just really wasn't thrilled in the pot that I had it in. I think it was too big, or for whatever reason, it just wasn't happy. It was really kind of thinning out and losing leaves. So I got it in some fresh soil, got it in kind of a smaller container, which I actually like a lot more for it. It feels a lot more, I don't know, Grecian urn type, flowy, fancy. I just think it highlights the plant a little bit better. So hopefully this one will be a little bit more happy. But again, like, that's new. The little ends are new. They're very teeny tiny, so that's kind of the goal with this one, is to see if I can get those big turtle shell leaves back. Make it a little bit happier. So yeah, that's the Peperomia table. I'm excited to see what these guys do when they kind of start to wake up, quote unquote, and really turn on the growth when it's their turn, when it's their grow season. So that's it for me for this weekend. Just wanted to quick show you, oh, maybe on that note, check out my vanilla orchid. Vanilla planifolia. This is also growing kind of secretly. I haven't really been paying attention to this too much except to water it, and it seems to be doing okay. So that's kind of the theme of this video, is to just highlight some plants in my collection that I still appreciate them for what they are. They're not my collector plant, but they do improve the space where they are, and they make me feel great about, caring for them and just enjoying them in my space, and they improve my space a lot. So I'm appreciative of all of my plants. So some of those ones were kind of the ones that I don't really show too much on this channel, or haven't lately. So they deserved some time on camera, featured in a video. So until next time, you guys, I hope that everyone is doing well and staying healthy and enjoying your plants.